Welcome back to Northwest City Politics in the Know with Juanita. We're glad that you're joining us for our show again this week. We're always happy for people like you that are interested in the issues that are happening in the cities around our Northwest Community Television's viewing area. Because it is important for good government to have citizens, see, don't worry about it. It is important for good government to have citizens that are actively involved, following the issues, and then when it's something that's really important to you, making sure that you let your mayors and city council members know what's happening. Each week we'll have somebody on from one of the 9 cities to bring the issues to you so you'll know what's happening before they vote on them in the city council. And then from time to time we'll have other information about our cities that'll help you learn a little bit more what's going on. And that's what we're going to do tonight. All of our cities in the Northwest area have human rights commissions, but a lot of people aren't even aware of what they do. So we're going to take some time tonight learning about what the Human Rights Commission does in the city of New Hope. And I'm very happy to welcome tonight Susan Beaubaire and Michelle Slotto, who are both on the Human Rights Commissions and have been willing to come on our show and help those of you out there learn about, well, what's happening. And then we'll encourage you that when you're hearing what's going on, if it sounds interesting to you, contact your city and see if there's any openings on their commissions. But I've let them know ahead of time that I'm going to have them introduce themselves. So I'm going to start with Susan Beaubaire and have you tell a little bit about your time in New Hope and then how you got interested or why you got on the Human Rights Commission.
Okay. Well, thank you for having us, Juanita. I've lived in New Hope for 23 years. I've had a house here for since 1989. And I've raised 2 daughters here. They both went to Armstrong High School. And so I've spent a majority or part of my life here in the community.
Right.
And I previously have been involved in education most of my life. And so I taught speech and theater and English and directed plays in the Robbinsdale School District and ended up my career as a coordinator of gifted services. And so that's kind of how I ended up here.
Right.
But I got involved in the Human Rights Commission because I really felt like I had lived here quite a while and I really have felt very respected and treated well in the community, and I wanted to do something to give back to the community. And I really found out about the Human Rights Commission and initially from my oldest daughter, Alana, and when she was going to Armstrong High School, she was interested in human rights issues and applied to the commission and was a student commissioner for a couple of years, and I saw the good work that was done on the commission. And so I've been on the commission now. This is going into my 4th year. And I've been a vice chair of the Human Rights Commissions for 2 years, the past 2 years.
Oh, well, then you've gotten well involved.
Yes.
And Michelle Slotto?
Yeah. I just moved to New Hope in 2013 in October. We bought a house, my husband and I, and we have 2 kids. And so I've been resident for just a short time. And I joined the commission right about a year ago. And the reason I joined the commission, I just have a passion for people and for fairness and for, I just love people. And I believe it's really important to give back to the community. I also have a passion for just being involved in the city. I believe in the power of people. And so I just wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah, because I always like the people out watching us to know a little bit about wine, so maybe it'll kind of stimulate them to think about doing the same thing that you've done.
Okay, sure.
Joining the Human Rights Commission or one of the other commissions that cities have too. All right, let's start out with kind of on the purpose or the reason for having a Human Rights Commission. What's the underlying reason? Why do we have it?
Well, I think that our focus on the Human Rights Commission, our main focus is on education. And educating ourselves as commissioners about what the issues are in the world and the community, and also taking that knowledge and disseminating it to people in the community. So some of the things that we have done already on the committee, we've had Know Your Neighbor events that have been very popular. And so that entailed, we had people from the Latino community and from the Somalian community, which, make up, a portion of New Hope as we've become more and more diverse. And we had them come and speak and share their culture and their stories. We've also had a forum on cyberbullying, which we did in conjunction with the schools. Unfortunately, that is a very big topic, and we had Willie Bridges, he was from the governor's task force on bullying, Comm, and Police Chief Fournier, and invited the community to listen to that. And then we had an event called Jackie Robinson and the Kid. And that was really wonderful. There was a gentleman, Ron Rabinovitz, who had a personal relationship with Jackie Robinson. So he came to speak about issues of discrimination and prejudice. So we've also had our commissioners, we go to human rights state symposiums. We've had a couple commissioners who've played roles on the Human Rights State Commission themselves, a League of State League. And we've done things like we also go to some of the Planning Commission meetings for New Hope. So if there are any kinds of housing issues, we can be informed about that. And we volunteer for events like Kids Pack, and we're at the farmers market 2 times during the year with our informing the community and welcoming people to join our commission. So as I said, I really think that it's one of our main roles is education, and that feeling that we want people to feel that they're treated fairly in the community, and that if they're not, there's a place to go to.
Yeah, because if a person believes that they've been unlawfully discriminated against, they might be right, they might be wrong, but what can your group do for that group, or what does that person need to do? Is there somebody out there now that as we talk about it, are thinking about, maybe I should pursue that further. Maybe we could give a little information for them.
Okay. Well, we do have a phone number, so a person could call one of the commissioners individually or talk to us individually. We do have another phone number that would connect them to City Hall, and then we usually take that information and we would discuss it as a commission, and then decide what resources that person would need. For example, it may really end up being something that happened that turned out to be a crime, so we refer them to the police department. Or it may be some kind of legal issue with housing and our employment issue, and so we would refer them there. So we have different resources that we can help them out, and sometimes people just are feeling discriminated in some way, or they've been treated unfairly, and it's not, they just want to kind of talk to somebody or talk it through, and we feel as a commission that we're there for that too.
So if there's people out in our audience, and this would be true for New Hope or for all of the cities out there that are bothered about something, that's maybe a beginning point where they can kind of you can be a resource for them.
Correct. Yes.
The northwest suburbs are getting more and more diverse. I believe Brooklyn Center, the minority is now the majority, but it's a change that's happening in our communities. How does the Human Rights Commission work to help make this a positive change?
Well, I think one of the things is that we try to keep a visible presence in the community. Sometimes we're at the city council meetings, where, as I said, at the farmer markets, we try to appear at other events. And we I think that it's about just doing little things,
Okay.
like going up and introducing yourself to somebody if
right.
you see maybe somebody else isn't talking to them.
Right,
If somebody moves into your neighborhood and they're a new neighbor, of course you should do that anyways.
Right.
But you know, if there's from a different community group and maybe they're even new to the Twin Cities or to the United States, I think you could volunteer perhaps to tutor new immigrants.
Definitely.
Help provide information just to navigate the system. They want a driver's license. And I think also it's important to support candidates, I mean, in a political aspect. Who are, you know, embrace other cultures and different kinds of communities. And I think that having that diversity in a community and having more diversity in New Hope now is really a wonderful thing, and I think it adds a lot of richness to our community.
Oh yeah, I agree. Now, we'll talk specifically about the New Hope Human Rights Commission. How many people are members of the commission? Because that's a set amount by the city council, right? Because the commission is a part of the city government.
Right.
Right. Right now we have 6 members.
Okay.
We can have up to 10. And
Okay.
our members right now are Dee Otto is our chair, and Susan is our vice chair. I'm Michelle Slotto. We have Trista Ranke, Jim Gross, and Andrea Bajareno Robinson.
Now I should add that Michelle and Trista are co-secretaries. Yes.
Okay.
Right.
And then, how often does the Human Rights Commission meet?
We meet every month on the first Monday at 7 p.m. at City Hall in the Park and Rec conference room.
Yeah, and for the other cities, if anybody's interested, you can go on the city website and you can pick up that same information.
Yep.
And we'll have New Hope's website up so people can find that out.
Great, yep.
But this is one place where people can come and learn about it at your meetings, right?
Yes, yeah, please.
And what is the process? What does it take to become a member? What do you need to do? What are the steps you need to
It's pretty
follow?
simple.
Okay.
Come to a meeting anytime,
Okay.
of course. We're certainly very welcoming to new members. But it's simply filling out an application. And then there's a short interview with the council members, with the city council and the mayor, and hopefully then you're a member.
So anybody out there, there's 2 openings for adults and 2 openings for teenagers?
Yeah,
Was
we're
that what
looking
we were
for some
talking
high
earlier?
school. We'd love to have some student members from Cooper and Armstrong High School. Yeah, so 2 for students and 2 for adults right now.
And preferably for the students, if they're juniors, if they're sophomores, it's really, it's great because they can, you know, be on the council for a couple of and we really value their input and their opinion. They have a different perspective than
definitely.
An important perspective.
Yeah, so if there's anybody out there that lives in New Hope and is in either Armstrong or Cooper,
correct, yes.
Then they could get more information from either one of you, because we'll have email and phone numbers up for you too.
Okay, yeah,
so that
absolutely.
could be a good starting point.
I mean, they could also call the city in New Hope and they would direct them to, or they could download the application off the website. And also we should say that the students don't have to be living in New Hope. I mean, if they're going to either of the schools.
Then that,
Yeah. Because I mean, technically Armstrong is in Plymouth. So.
Right.
So just to let the aspiring students, commissioners know that.
Know that there's an opening and you'd be very welcoming of them. Right.
Absolutely.
And how long a term does a commissioner serve?
The expectation is to serve at least 2 years. Usually.
And then from the people on your commission now, about what you said you served 4 so far.
Yeah, I'm in my 4th year. And we just did have a member who had served, she received a plaque and everything and honored the city council meeting. And she served for 10 years. But I would say that the I mean, it seems since she served 10 years, you can serve indefinitely. I mean, you know, people, I would say maybe the average has been 4 to 6 years.
And people are at different points in their lives. Sometimes you can do something every month. And sometimes, you know, maybe you can do something that takes one time.
Right, yeah.
But this would be an opportunity for people.
Yeah.
And the only way to know if there's an opening is to call the City Hall. Now, we know New Hope does, but the other cities, they could contact City Hall and find out if there's any openings.
You know, and if somebody was just interested, student or adult, and they just wanted to come to a meeting and see what we do and, you know, what it's like, they're welcome to do that. As well as anybody in the community can just come to a meeting if they have a particular concern or they just want to see what we do, how we operate, what we're about.
Or if they have ideas to share with you.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, right.
And then how does your Human Rights Commission then interact with the City Council?
We do attend some City Council meetings. We attend a work session usually. We just did that actually last night to just put forth our goals, our accomplishments from the prior year, and then our goals for the coming year. And then we at various events and
our liaison for our commission to the New Hope City Council is Chief Fournier, the police chief.
Right.
And so if we have particular, and oftentimes we're very lucky, Mayor Hempkin will just sit in on the meeting. And so they're there to kind of give us guidance or feedback. So if we have a specific thing that we think we should bring up to the City Council or the City Council should look at a particular issue, they serve as a liaison for us and will tell us, you know, give us a sense if, you know, it's going to be kind of acceptable or not. And then we do have the opportunity too, if we want to just go as a commissioner to the City Council and express some concern or issue, to do that as well. So, yeah.
Now, we'll kind of switch from what you have done to what you're hoping to do and move into talking about the goals and objectives of the New Hope Human Rights Commission. What kinds of things do you want to accomplish now in 2015?
For 2015, we have a lot of things that we've been doing that we're hoping to continue doing. We are always working on our print media and trying to keep that up to date. We're going to be exploring some grant opportunities, hopefully, to help us have opportunities, get some money for the events that we do, and for educational opportunities maybe for ourselves. We will be working on submitting articles to various news media to keep, try to keep a public face and help people understand what we're doing and what we're up to. Recruiting these high school members is important to us. We lost when I was just becoming a member last year. We lost our last student member. He graduated and went on to college, and so we're looking to fill those roles. We have a multi-city event coming up in April that we're going to talk a little bit about, I think. A genocide awareness event for April that we've been working on with Crystal and Robbinsdale and Golden Valley, and participating at different volunteer events that Susan had mentioned, and appearing at various city functions and events like City Day and the farmers markets. And then there's the state essay contest that we've already participated in. We read essays and help narrow it down for the state. And I think last year, what was it? Our New Hope's essay.
Well, last year, one of our essayists, our participants, we submit the top winning one, and I guess we can talk a little bit later about how that all comes to fruition. And he won 3rd place in the state of Minnesota.
That's pretty
so we were very proud of that. Yeah.
What was the topic for the essays this year?
The topic for the essay was, it's sponsored by the Minnesota State Human Rights League, and it was a question related to hurtful speech. So students were supposed to give examples of how negative speech affects people, groups of people, and how that results in a violation of human rights, and to give examples. And so we probably have received like over 200 essays from Plymouth Middle School. And then those essays are all read by commissioners and some volunteers in our community. We come back to the commission, we choose our first, second, and third place, and then like a couple of runner-ups. And then in the spring, those students and their families are invited to a council meeting, and the first, second, and third place winners get a small monetary award and a certificate, and they get to read their essays in front of the council. And then the runners up get to also come with their families, and then we also invite the teachers who were very diligent in giving us all the essays. So we have done this for years and years and years, and I think it's really, as a former English teacher, they always tease me because when I'm doing the essays, I can't help correcting them. They always, we know these are Susan's because it has the red pen marks on it, but it's really exciting, and the kids are very thoughtful in their answers.
And start the educating process early, right?
An awareness process, really. Yes.
And then what kinds of issues are facing your Human Rights Commission when you look a little farther in the future?
Well, that's a very good question. I think that each of the commissioners kind of has their own kind of idea or pet project, and right now we're just, because we're looking for the next event, we've done a lot of discussing, and so we're at the point for the future of future events or issues of just kind of looking at what's happening in the community and the world. So at this point I can't give you anything like definitive. This is
just general ideas that you're considering, not what you've already decided to do.
I think the main thing that we're focusing on, because this has been a really good experience, is another collaboration of a four-city event with Crystal and Robbinsdale and New Hope and Golden Valley, thank you. And there was some discussion that the focus might be on the topic of some kind of youth, adolescent kind of topic. So that's kind of where we're at now, and just try to continue we feel the good work that we're doing right now.
Now, how does your group reach out to the different kinds of communities? You mentioned that you had an educational event. How do you reach some of the immigrant groups or some of the communities that you want to see the fairness and the justice kind of thing? What are some ways that work, or you've tried, or?
Well, I think the Know Your Neighbor events have been very successful. I know we have tried and done some work with the English as a second language learners and the liaisons in the schools to try to get involvement. And I think, again, just kind of getting the information out there about what we're doing and different opportunities. So.
Yeah, we just try to make ourselves as visible as possible.
Because it is hard to figure out how do you reach groups that need to know what you're about, but yet they're new to our area, so.
And oftentimes there are, like, for example, in the schools, at the high schools, they have different multicultural groups. So we might make a connection that way. It is a kind of ongoing
trial and error.
Trial and error, So anytime we can, get input or ideas at new members and things, how to do that is always helpful to us. I mean, we're a commission that's a work in progress too. So.
We covered about the essay contest already pretty well. But that has probably been one of the longest ongoing projects that the Human Rights Commission's been involved in, right?
Yes, correct,
And then have you interacted with any of the other cities in our area, or mainly just Crystal, Robbinsdale, and New Hope? I'm Golden Valley.
Since I've been on the commission, for the first couple years I was on the commission, it was like we might be informed of each other's events and we might attend each other's events. Right. But this is the first time since I've been on the commission where there's been a joint city thing. And I think that because everybody is busy with their lives and all sorts of events, that it is, we thought maybe if we collaborated and got 4 communities together, that when we did an event, there might be a bigger turnout kind of thing. So that's why if this one is successful, we're doing in April, we hope to do more. But I think we're very good, at least these 4 cities, and we do find out and kind of try to keep in touch with what some of the other commissions are doing around the Twin Cities.
And then the State Human Rights Commission? Is that a commission or is
well, there is a State Human Rights Commission and then a State Human Rights League. Which we do our most, that's our biggest connection and most amount of work that we do it with.
So there is a linkage of all the groups together.
Yeah. So I believe, this is what I believe. I think that the State Human Rights Commission is, I mean, it's involved in doing programs, but that's more a thing where if somebody has had employment discrimination and things, that they will bring it to that. The league works more locally with the local commissions in the area.
And then you can help people sort through an issue and maybe move them along the line if they need it.
Yes, correct,
Yeah, so we'll encourage all of you out there, be sure to set April 18th aside on your calendar. You could actually write it on your calendar tonight,
yes, you could.
And it starts
Put it in your phone.
And it starts at what time?
It goes from 10 to 11:30 in the morning.
10 to 11:30 in the morning, Crystal Community Center.
Correct.
Which is roughly, 47th and Douglas Drive for people that aren't
Roughly,
aware.
yes.
But they could also, like I said, we've put our city website up, we've put your phone numbers up if anybody wants to check.
It's 4800 Douglas Drive
there you
North.
Go. There you go.
In Crystal. And there should be another little article in your Sun Sailor with the information. There was already one in January in the New Hope Sun Sailor. So be looking around for, Juanita, I know you're going to show that poster.
Yes,
be looking for those posters to come to the event.
But that's a good opportunity for somebody that maybe hasn't been involved in this issue to kind of dip in, see what's there, a one-time event for an hour and a half of your time. So we hope a lot of you will come and join them. And I want to thank you so much for
Well, thank you. It was my pleasure.
Thank you.
All this information together that we can share with our audience out there. And be sure to tune in next week for part 2 on the Human Rights Commissions. And remember, you're going to get coffee and cookies if you come on April 18th, right?
Yes. Coffee, cookies, potential credit, and a very interesting speaker.
Right.
So thank you very much.
Thank you for having us, Juanita.
Thank you.
And we hope you'll join us again next week. Bye.